नाम की चलो
कि
बट नाम একটু নাম কি
Sublime से
স্পেলিং
SUBLIME
এটা তো
হ্যাঁ এটা দেখাচ্ছে না
চ্যাট চ্যাটটাকে তোকে করতে হবে সাইন ইন টু
লাইভ
ঠিক আছে চ্যাটটা পড়া দেবো তুমি শুরু করে দে ফুল সুইচ কর চ্যাট শুরু করে চ্যাটটা দেখতে হবে
Hello everyone. Today I'm going to analyze one of my games which I played. I think it's in the 2020, I guess. Here's one of my opponents. This game is really instructive, so I chose this particular game. Of course, I did a lot of blunders. My opponent did a lot of blunders. It is a game of blunders, but it's also a game of tactics also. So without the further ado, let's dive into the game. I am black, and my opponent is white. My opponent played f3, which is very, I don't know anybody plays this move in the first move because it's opening your king side. That's a weak pawn in the king. Anyway, my opponent played that, and I replied normally with e5. d3, my opponent, I developed my bishop, and then my opponent also developed the bishop, and I went straight for the check because this is it is actually instructed not to give checks so early until and unless you find a purpose, and unnecessary checks are not at all useful. But this check has meaning, so my opponent blocked the check with his g pawn, and I ignored that threat on the bishop. This is really instructive because my opponent also saw that he cannot capture the bishop because if the bishop captures, then it is checkmate. By the queen capturing the pawn again, recapturing the pawn, and it's checkmate because there's nothing to block that check, and the king is literally stuck. So my opponent didn't capture the bishop. That is a very good move, and he just pushed his pawn f4. I captured the pawn. My opponent recaptured with the bishop. I developed my knight, which is not a good move at all, but it's okay. And now he captured because now the king can move. There are free spaces, so he captured the bishop now. But I just recaptured, giving a check and attacking the bishop on f4, and he simultaneously blocking the check and defending his bishop. But now I'm going to the other way around, the b4, giving a check from the b4, and he blocked it with his c pawn. I captured the unprotected pawn and developed his knight. I castled, and it was a mistake for me this move because castling and without protecting my c7 pawn is really really stupid of me. But anyway, I didn't see that, and he captured that. This is also I tried to trap the bishop, but it's also not useful because the bishop can capture that pawn too. Without that pawn is not protected at all. So these are my two blunders. Okay, now I developed my rook, eyeing straight to the king, and my opponent just I don't know why he sacrificed his bishop. There's a trap. My opponent just, gee, this rook can capture the bishop. Okay, so what is my opponent's planning? Why did he just sacrifice this bishop? The trick is that if my rook captures the bishop, this knight will fork the rook and the queen by c4, and I also saw that, but I also saw that this move is not useful at all. I can happily capture that bishop because that fork will not work at all. So I just captured the bishop, and that's what happened. He just forked my rook and the queen, but I escaped by giving a check. See, that's why I'm telling that it's not working because there's a check and you cannot capture. You have to defend the check first. Okay, so my opponent running away with his king. I give it a check again. Again, running away with the king. Okay, this time I give a check with the pawn, sacrificing my. That is not the sacrifice at all. Actually, that knight cannot be captured because my bishop is protecting the knight. But this pawn can be captured, and he took it. Okay, now the king is in the middle of the board. This is not a good sign for any player. I mean, the king should not be running around with the board with your minor pieces behind. This is just terrible. The game is already lost, and I just sacrificed my rook by giving a check. Sorry, that's not sacrificing a rook. I have to sacrifice my knight. See, my rook is protected by this bishop, C bishop, white bishop, but this knight is not protected at all. But I just laid a trap because that knight cannot be taken. That knight cannot be taken because if the knight is taken, the queen, my opponent, the white queen is gone. And that's what happened. He didn't see that and just blindly captured my knight and fell in my trap. Giving a discovered check and attacking the queen simultaneously, and the queen is gone. The game is really over here. And he just played on, and I just captured the queen. His queen is gone, and he recaptured with his rook, and my rook is gone. And now I play normal developing moves because anyway there's nothing more to be done. And he just he just moved away his knight from the attack, and his knight is gone also because there's a fork check and picking up the knight. So I picked up the knight. Anyway, the game should be he should resign this, but he still played on hoping for me to make some blunders, which is highly not possible with so much material. Okay, he attacked my bishop, and I just giving a check and attacking the rook simultaneously and smartly defended with developing the knight. And I also developed my bishop protecting my I developed my knight protecting my bishop. And he moved his pawn forward, developing some space. I just attacked. See, this knight can be captured because the knight is attacked by two pieces, the queen and the light square bishop, but also protected by this pawn and the king. And now my opponent made a terrible blunder. He just attacked my queen. He attacked my queen and making the knight defenseless, and I just grabbed it. There's the last crucial blunder, and there's no hope now because it's already over. There's nothing to be done. and he just moved back for his king. And this is far more terrible because now I will give a skewer, which I will not need. But the rook is hanging, and I just took the rook, and he just went away from the line of attack, and I just picked the pawn. And there he again, it should go forward, not backward, because this is just now there's mate in two now because there's no stopping the checkmate coming because this whole file is covered by this queen, so the king has only one square, that is the e1 square, the big dark square, and I finally finished this with this common checkmate. So actually my opponent blundered a lot. I also did some terrible blunders, but I mean he should. First of all, the opening move was really fishy to me. Anyway, he just played on and he played one smart trick. This was the trap he played, but which is nothing, it's not useful at all. Because he overlooked that if that the queen can escape by giving a check, and which happened. And anyway, this running around, the king running around with the minor pieces behind is not a good sign at all because come on, this is possible to protect your king like that. I will just sacrifice many pieces and give checkmates. This is not going to happen at all. So that's what happened. I just keep on sacrificing pieces because the king is in the middle of the board. That's why I can give checks anywhere. Anyway, it's a very educative video. This is a very instructive game, and I also learned a lot from this. This is, I want to say this is one of my best games at all. In fact, I won because I went blundered a lot. Anyway, that's all. Thank you. Goodbye.